on challenging Labour and challenging Steve Rotherham in this election, what would you and the Green Party and the local Green Party consider to be a success next Thursday?
Well, victory would be success. We have got a real chance here. There's a lot of turbulence in local politics, and people are desperate for change. And we're seeing that across the city region. If you look across at Wirral, if you look at Knowsley, you're seeing Greens getting elected in pretty significant numbers now, because people are fed up of the city region being a one-party state. You know, six local authorities, all dominated by the Labour Party, with a Labour mayor. People want to see, challenges. People want to see new ideas coming in, and so this is a really important time to vote Green. And we are by far the best option compared to the Conservative Party to challenge Labour in this election.
Okay, and when it comes to turnout as well for local elections, we've been looking at some of the statistics recently here, and it's not been great for the local elections and for the mayoral elections previously. I was just wondering why do you think that it's the statistics suggest that the people of Liverpool are less interested in local politics, and what would you do to change that?
Obviously in my job as a councillor, in my job as a local politician, I don't feel like there's a lack of interest. People are, extremely, willing to give their opinion on the issues of the day, and you'll know that living in Liverpool yourself. So I don't think it's a lack of interest, but I do think there has been there hasn't been enough done to engage people with what the city region's about, what the Metro Mayor can deliver. It's all about taking power from Westminster and bringing it to our local area, so that people who are based here, people who've got their lives in our region, are making decisions that affect them. So I'd like to see a lot more done to bring people into decision making. Often, consultations are just a bit of window dressing, and people are shown a policy where the decisions are all really made. I'd like to involve experts. I'd like to involve, local communities, campaign groups, so that they can have a really sort of important role in decision making, in policy formation, and have a say in the decisions that affect them. And something that Greens have called for across the country, and something I'd do here if elected, is I'd establish a citizens' assembly. So that's a group of people selected at random to be representative of people who live here, given a kind of long-term role in developing plans and policies which are going to affect the city region going forward. And so the people are having a really important role in planning for a greener, fairer city region.
Perfect, perfect. And I know what you were mentioning just then about sort of taking power away from Westminster, greater devolution to the cities and regions of Liverpool. Of course, Andy Burnham and Steve Rotherham recently brought out their book Head North, which
Mhm.
was cool. I don't know if you've read it or if you plan to read it or anything, but it obviously often reads as a manifesto for that greater devolution. So is that something that you would say that you agree with the current Labour Metro Mayor on?
Look, I'm too busy reading Caroline Lucas's and Natalie Bennett's books to read Steve Rotherham and Andy Burnham's books. There are much more radical, bold ideas. Admittedly, thankfully, Andy Burnham is starting to nick some important green policies, such as proportional representation, so a fairer voting system where people are better represented. He's also interested now in a long-held green policy of universal basic income, where we no longer means test benefits and just make sure people have enough money to see to basically afford their basics as a right rather than something that's mean tested. These are things that the Green Party have been calling for a long time, and some Labour politicians, a minority, unfortunately, are slowly beginning to catch onto. But getting back to the issue of devolution, absolutely. The Green Party believe in the principle that decisions should be made at the most local level possible. So some decisions, do need to be made on a national basis, but anything that affects a local area specifically, where local budgets and local works are taking place, they should really be decided by a sort of more local form of government. So yes, I do agree with the devolution project in general. our criticism from the start was always that for some reason Liverpool City region were given less powers. That might be a reflection of the lack of faith that was had in Labour Party sort of administrations around the city region. That might be beginning to change. Maybe a little bit more faith is now held that Liverpool can and Liverpool City region can um, manage its own affairs a bit more effectively. And I think if if a Green mayor was elected and I was able to deliver some of my pledges, I believe that would only build trust and lead to sort of further devolution of powers in the short term.
Perfect. And the last couple of questions from me today, Tom, then I'll let you shoot off and enjoy the rest of your day. First off, I just wanted to ask about if there were any specifics on your manifesto pledges that you plan to do, because I know you've spoken about urban tree planting and you've obviously talked about insulating homes, etc. Are there any specific areas of Liverpool that you're looking to focus the tree planting in, or anything across your manifesto pledges that you have specifics for at this point?
Well, I mean, there are many specifics in there. Obviously, the home insulation schemes, they exist. They're something I'm involved with professionally as my day job, so to speak. I'm an energy assessor, and something I have noticed is that a lot of people in my trade do like look for work outside of our local area because not enough is being done to support the industry locally. So I would look to bring that industry back into the region and maximize the amount of money that we can bring into the region to insulate people's homes, upgrade people's heating systems. And this is an issue which is going to obviously, cut carbon, which is very important for me as a green, but also save people money, lift people out of fuel poverty, and improve people's quality of life. So that's something I'd like to see across the city region. I have mentioned tree planting. Now, that might sound like a little bit of a secondary issue to many people, but as the planet is starting to heat up, we're going to see more and more extreme heat waves. And I know, speaking to friends who found the heat wave in the city centre particularly quite overwhelming, and we need to, make our city ready and make our town centres across the region ready for the changes that are already beginning. We are seeing these extreme heat waves, and we need to give people shelter. Trees have an amazing cooling effect, and they also make places more pleasant. A bit of green is really good for people's mental health, makes our city a more attractive, pleasant place to live. So, I'd like to see tree planting across all town centres within the city region.
Perfect. Fantastic. The final question for me, Tom, is just, is there anything else, anything I've not asked you, anything else that you'd like to say as part of this interview to the people of Liverpool?
Look, as a Green, I'm absolutely passionate about the environment, but I do know that we cannot fix the environment if we don't, bring people with us, if we don't make our communities fairer, safer, better places. So my vision is for Liverpool City region to be a fairer, greener city region and one of the best places in the world to live. I'd like to see people taking real pride, people feeling safe and happy to go outdoors, for their children to play outdoors. And, I want to see a peaceful, safe, green, fair city region. So if that's the sort of vision that inspires you, please do get out on the 2nd of May and vote green in the Metro mayoral election. Thank you very much.